What happens when ambition turns into paranoia? Welcome to the world of corporate politics. Our tale begins with the arrival of Emily Turner, a dynamic spark in the corporate machine, brimming with youthful vigor and a reputation for excellence. Emily, a beacon of ambition, set her sights high, her dreams reaching the lofty heights of the corporate ladder. However, every landscape has its shadows, and in this world, Robert Sanders was just that. Robert, a long-standing pillar in the department, found himself unnerved by Emily's rapid rise. A creeping paranoia began to take root in his mind, a fear that Emily's burgeoning career could eclipse his own. His unease led him down a path of subtle sabotage. He played the part of mentor, offering guidance while surreptitiously weaving a web of deceit, undermining Emily's achievements in the most delicate of ways. As Emily's star ascended, Robert's desperation intensified. It began with manipulation of project timelines. Robert, the seasoned corporate player, started his deceptive tactics in a way that was almost imperceptible. The first move in his sly game was the stealthy acceleration of project deadlines. With the precision of a skilled puppeteer, he manipulated the strings of time, turning regular schedules into impossible mazes. Emily, the unsuspecting victim, was thrown into this labyrinth, forced to navigate her tasks amidst these shifting sands of time. This tactic was as ingenious as it was insidious. It was a well-calculated move designed to put Emily in a position where she had to constantly race against the ever-moving clock, where the pressure of a ticking timer would be her constant companion. And Robert, the puppet master, reveled in the chaos he had orchestrated, watching from the shadows as Emily grappled with the mounting pressure. But Robert didn't stop at that. His next ploy was even more devious. He started to feed misinformation to the higher-ups, casting shadows on Emily's competence. This wasn't blatant slander. Robert was far too clever for that. He used subtle whispers, anonymous tips, and carefully crafted tales that painted Emily as unreliable and out of touch with the company's vision. The impact of these tactics was chilling. Emily's reputation within the company started to wane. Colleagues who once admired her began to question her abilities and motives. The work environment turned hostile, and Emily found herself in an uphill battle, not just against her tasks, but also against the seeds of doubt Robert had sown. The calculated deception reached the ears of decision-makers, eroding the trust Emily had diligently built. His position seemed secure, and Emily's, once on the rise, started to dim under the weight of suspicion and doubt. But Robert's deceptive tactics were far from over. The worst was yet to come. His campaign against Emily was about to take a darker turn. Anonymous emails began to circulate within the company. Robert, driven by envy and fear of being overshadowed, had taken a dark turn. His deceitful tactics had escalated, transforming into a full-blown character assassination campaign against Emily. This wasn't just about undermining her anymore, this was about destroying her image, her reputation, and her standing within the company. Robert's emails were carefully crafted to implicate Emily in fictitious wrongdoings. The messages were laced with subtle accusations, insinuations, and rumors, all designed to cast her in an unfavorable light. His words, while not openly accusatory, were enough to sow the seeds of doubt. He painted a picture of Emily that was far removed from the ambitious and accomplished professional she was. The impact of these emails were devastating. Emily's colleagues, who had once respected and admired her, began to question her integrity. The rumors spread like wildfire, infecting the corporate department with suspicion and mistrust. Emily found herself isolated and scrutinized, her every move watched with doubtful eyes. She was on the brink of losing her job she worked so hard to obtain. This was the power of insinuation. Robert had not only managed to cast a shadow on Emily's competence, but he had also successfully manipulated the perceptions of their colleagues. He had turned allies into skeptics, and friends into doubters. Emily was now seen through a lens of suspicion, her actions and words twisted and misconstrued. The effects of Robert's character assassination were not just professional, they were deeply personal. Emily's relationships with her colleagues were strained, her work environment turned hostile. She was left to navigate a minefield of rumors and accusations, her reputation hanging by a thread. Yet, Emily remained steadfast. Despite the whispers and the sidelong glances, she tried to hold her head high. She continued to work hard, refusing to let the rumors and accusations deter her. She was determined to prove her worth, to show everyone that she was not the person Robert's emails painted her to be. But the damage had been done. Colleagues now regarded Emily with nothing more than a problem for the whole office, poisoned by the venomous whispers. Emily was left to face the fallout of Robert's character assassination, her once bright future now clouded with uncertainty. The puppet master's plan unfolded during a critical client presentation. Robert, the strings of deceit firmly in his hands, manipulated data, morphing an exemplary project into a precarious endeavor. Emily, unaware of the seismic shift beneath her feet, navigated the presentation with the grace and poise of an experienced professional. But as she spoke, the ground seemed to crumble beneath her. The once promising venture teetered on the edge of failure, the balance upset by Robert's insidious machinations. In the shadows, Robert reveled in his perceived triumph. His web of deception had trapped Emily in a dance of uncertainty. He watched as the fruits of his labor began to ripen, his smirk hidden behind a mask of feigned concern. As Emily struggled to maintain her composure, the client's expression shifted from anticipation to dismay. The moment of reckoning arrived, however, not with the expected downfall of Emily, but with the unmasking of Robert's malevolent machinations. An unexpected hero emerged from the ranks, a whistleblower who had witnessed the puppet master at work. With courage and an unwavering sense of justice, they exposed the intricate web of sabotage. The revelation sent shockwaves through the corporate walls. The anonymous whispers, the manipulated deadlines, the subtle character assassination. All the pieces of Robert's grand scheme were laid bare. The truth, like a beacon, cut through the fog of deception, illuminating the depths of Robert's betrayal. The colleagues who had once doubted Emily now rallied behind her, their outrage fueled by the extent of Robert's deceit. The higher-ups, confronted with the irrefutable evidence, were left with no choice but to sever ties with their once respected supervisor. Robert now found himself at the mercy of his own game. Exposed and isolated, he faced the consequences of his actions. The same colleagues he had sought to undermine recoiled from his treachery. Emily, on the other hand, emerged from the crucible of deceit stronger than ever. The scars of the covert campaign became badges of resilience, testaments to her unwavering determination. The corporate battlefield, once rigged against Emily's success, now recognized her true potential. The higher-ups, acknowledging her resilience and dedication, elevated her to Robert's now vacant position. In the wake of the scandal, the company's higher-ups took decisive action. Faced with undeniable evidence of Robert's machinations, they severed ties with him. Robert, once a respected figure in the corporate department, was now exposed and isolated. His downfall was as swift as it was spectacular. In the aftermath of Robert's exposure, a chilling development unfolded. The brave whistleblower, who had risked it all to unmask the web of deceit, mysteriously disappeared from the corporate scene. His sudden absence sparked concern, his desk remaining untouched, a silent testament to his courage. 3 weeks passed with no word. Then a grisly discovery. His body was found in a desolate alley, a victim of a brutal assault. The scene was a horrifying tableau of violence. But he was not alone. There, sprawled beside him, was Robert, life extinguished by a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. The corporate world was left stunned, the shockwaves of this tragic twist reverberating through the once bustling department.